100, 10, peace and shared security. Woo, 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 woo. Ah,
As we look up, as I said, as we look up to the next 100 years, AFSC recognizes that our world is changing. That's something that is very clear. Today's problems, from election violence, we're already seeing that in Africa, violent extremism, weapons proliferation, to climate disruption, public health crisis cannot be solved by individual nations. Isn't it true?
Allow me to say that on behalf of the NCCK, we wish to encourage you to continue on for the next 100 years. But as you continue, not to faint, not to grow weary, because in doing so, the Prince of Peace, he that we believe in as Christians and as church, is soon coming. And when he comes, he shall reward the peacemakers.
As a diplomat, I greatly appreciate Mr. Kennedy Akolo's recognition earlier this evening of the role of preventative diplomacy in peace. My boss, U.S. Ambassador Bob Godak, and the rest of us at the U.S. Embassy here, we deeply believe in that role. Friends of mine, friends of peace, 100 years a team, lighting your flame for all to see. Isn't this what makes humanity better for tomorrow, let alone eternity? Thank God we know that friendship means service, if we are ever to call it true. 100 years could have just been a dream if this truth hadn't been embraced by men and women who live to serve. Truth about shared hope for a future so full with life, health, and wealth. See, giving is a gift that makes us bigger, better versions of ourselves. It's the gift we celebrate, the memory we elevate, the reason for this season and hope we live on. That heart so passionate shall carry us on. This flame burn on, this legacy, this story shine on.
I stand before you to say that in 100 years of action, from Bosnia to Kigali, from Haiti to Zimbabwe, from Palestine to Burundi, AFSC has shown us that nothing can transcend our shared humanity, and more so that we owe it to our future generation to continue waging peace. As youth in Kenya and Africa, we're eager for the next century, we're eager for the next 100 years, as we continue to ensure that peace is not just a static end, but a continuous evolution and development of the quality of human relationships to break the cycle of violence.
And this has been supported by American Friends Subcommittee for many years. And so we really want to thank you for standing with us. At some point, we are almost like dying, but because you came in and we worked together, and we really want to thank you for that. American Friends Subcommittee has also helped us in initiating and supporting, not really initiating, but just supporting and working with us with some of the different Quaker interventions. We have a program called Alternatives to Violence Project, AVP, and some of the one of the exercises we do are the things I was just sharing with you as a tester, where you do a lot of fun, a lot of interactive activities, but they help us to reflect on issues about peace building, issues about nonviolence, with small groups when you are doing our trainings there. And so American Friends Subcommittee has come in and really supported us.
United Religions Initiative Africa hereby awarded this Certificate of Appreciation to American Friends Service Committee in appreciation and acknowledgement of the effort of AFSCs over the last 100 years in promoting lasting peace, respect for human life and dignity, social justice, non-violence, constructive dialogue, and the transforming power of love as practical expression of faith in action. This Certificate of Appreciation was presented on the occasion of the celebration of the American Friends Service Committee's Centennial anniversary on July 12, 2017 in Nairobi, Kenya. I have also the Golden Rule, which is the universal ethics of principles. They mention it in their declaration. Treat others the way you want to be treated. It says in different holy books that if I want my culture, my way of life, my tradition, my language to be respected, I have to respect others. This is a common universal principle we need to abide by. And in recognition of the outstanding work, to me, the American Friends of Service, for the last 100 years, they have been really echoing, promoting, and not only teaching, but being the embodiment of this value. For all the Quakers, for all those who are promoting a culture of peace, thank you so much.
The strength, the sustainability of any initiatives comes from the bottom up. It doesn't necessarily come from the top down, something that I've learned. Sympathy, humility, and listening is something that AFSC is renowned for.
The project that AFSC and British Friends planned and organized was to rehabilitate a provincial hospital that had been partially destroyed by UN bombers during the Korean War, so that the workers for AFSC and FSC were mainly medical people working with the staff of the hospital.
A group of youths from 17 African countries came together, courtesy of AFC, sat, talked, shared, discussed, deliberated, and agreed that as from 1st July 2017, we are going to form one network that is going to do everything possible, everything humanly possible, to bring peace in Africa and by extension the rest of the world.
Thank you. 10 years after that, in 2015, the American Friends Service Committee uniquely, as always, again nominated me and my organization, the African Youth Initiative Network, for the Nobel Peace Prize. This nomination, it was a big win.
Over the last 100 years, you have demonstrated the power of non-violence to overcome violence, injustice, discrimination, and exploitation. You have been pioneers in the fight against slavery and helped end apartheid in South Africa. You have promoted cross-border peace-building initiatives, especially peace education in schools and institutions of higher learning.
Happy anniversary, AFSC. It's been such a great pleasure working with you, especially on the work that we've been doing with the youth. Thank you so much for including us.
My experience with American Friends Service Committee has been awesome in terms of the work that we do together, both among the high school students and with some of the kids in the slum areas.
I have seen organizations celebrating 100 years and they are not so energetic. There is no that zeal in those organizations, but I feel it in AFSC. In the last 1 year of waging peace, I've been able to travel wide and talk to people who are peace builders.
And I can just say it's a very awesome job that AFSC is doing, engaging in peace work, because one thing I believe is that with peace we can achieve so much.
In doing such phenomenal work, across the world, work that takes a lot of courage, work that takes a lot of conviction, work that takes a lot of passion. And I'm so glad to have been a part of this transformative work, that we do across the globe. So let's keeping on, speaking truth to power, convening platforms, using dialogue, and being peace workers.
What has inspired me with AFSC is that AFSC is a truly organization that speaks about peace, and I'm grateful that I managed to work with it, and I'm so grateful.
My journey with AFSC has been very, very great. I was that once a violent girl, and AFSC has transformed me from being violent to non-violent. And I would really like to congratulate them. Because of AFSC, I'm not transformed. I'm able to transform other people in my community and also fellow youth on non-violence advocacy skills. And also I'm able to go back to school.
I would like to congratulate our partners for the 100 years of working together as a partnership. And even as we approach the election, we look forward to more partnership and also areas in which we can intervene among the youth to make sure that the elections are peaceful and the youth are not involved in the violence. So congratulations, and happy to be one of your partners.
2, 3, peace. Say peace. 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 Security. Security. Shared security. Shared security. Peace and shared security. Peace and shared security. AFC at 100. AFC at 100. One world. One world. You're saying behind me. One world. One world. One world. One world. One nation. One nation. One people. One people. One humanity. One humanity. Peace to us all. Peace to us all. Yes.